I think as an artist, you want to start paying attention to things like how many sides there are on the base of this pedestal. In concept art, you do quite a bit of railings and gates around buildings, so just taking note of how these look is like an archive in your brain. So this is a statue of the 26-year-old Jane Goodall in 1960. This is her giving a nut to a chimpanzee named David Graybeard. The chimpanzee wasn't interested in the nut, but he holds her hand instead, showing that he understands her kind gesture, and this is the point where this changes her study of chimpanzees. So, on a side note, I've been reading this Jane Goodall book called Harvest for Hope. Even though she studies chimpanzees, this one is more about diet and the intelligence of animals. It's making me a little eerie of eating pork just because of the lack of compassion there is in these slaughterhouses. But yeah, it is definitely a very good read. Okay, now it's really time to book it before they have to chop off my frostbitten fingers. Girl tip, wear waterproof mascara. All of it runs. But a snowstorm doesn't stop us from looking at trims. I'm really digging this tulip trim. So this is a 1909 plan of Chicago. It is a view of the lagoons of the proposed park for the South Shore, created by Daniel Burnham and Edward Bennett. This is the proposed interior of the Henry Ford House in Detroit around 1917. What I like about it is it says actually pencil and watercolor on linen with old school wooden scroll ends. I'm just so surprised that the color pencil texture can go so well on linen. So these chairs are from a group of architects called the Prairie School, and they found inspiration in their local environment from horizontal lines of the Midwest landscape to the neighborhoods growing up around major cities in the early 20th century. The international style comes from architects from Scandinavia, the Netherlands, Eastern Europe, and the Soviet Union. They included people from the German Bauhaus, For example, that believed that modern design could improve communication, make better industrial products, solve many housing shortages, and reshape entire cities. Kitchen and bath unit were prefabricated and later put into units within a resort in France. So Joe Colombo designed this Italian chair, and he predicted that technology would allow people to retreat to their private homes more, and this Elda armchair with its swiveling base is the ideal throne for the new citizen, comfortable in his home but reachable through technology. So these are plans of the North Lakeshore Drive first floor mezzanine and second floor plumbing and ventilation for a series of buildings by architect Ludwig Mies van der Rohe, and it just shows the less flattering side of architectural design. These were done in 1949. Okay guys, so I got this pillar created. Notice I make the curve surfaces different from the straight surfaces. So for example, this is a straight surface and underneath it is a round surface. So on the round surfaces, you should put kind of like a shaded side on each side, even if the more prominent shadow side is on one side, right? Because you want it to show like a roundness to like a round form from left to right. When it's a straight, you can kind of shade down and accentuate maybe like the fungus or whatever is dripping down. I also added slight shadow underneath the parts that are more indented inside. For this one, I noticed there are actually a lot of like abalone shapes in Chicago. So this is like an emblem with these kind of floral ribbon rods that drape over this like screw. So to pop this out, I obviously did a sky, clouds, and grass. And for the base, I kind of made the line a little bolder. And just a trick I learned from doing mobile games is to kind of put tufts of grass that peek out over the base of things to kind of break up the monotony of a straight line. And kind of put these what would you call pillar shapes, place them back against the clouds by putting more marker, putting a darker marker color on top. So I use this toner gray Copic. Here I'm starting a new image. So I'm using mostly just a regular pen. And to do this, I'm not using rulers or anything, just eyeballing. I think with any architecture or motifs you want to draw, you want to imagine, even if it's like far away or hard to see, that things are broken up unequally. So when I'm drawing this, for lack of a better word, like a fence thing here, I'm making sure it's narrower or shorter than this height here. So these two heights are different. There is obviously many window, I don't know what they're called, struts, something here. So I'm just literally breaking it into the center and then having that, and then having that, and then having that until I get these, and then now I'm creating more halves. It's like a geometry lesson here. I think there are around 27 to 30 of these verticals on each side, but I'm not getting too picky, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So maybe there's 16 right now. Let me add a few more. And remember, when I'm doing this, even though I took a picture of this building, obviously in perspective from the ground floor up, as with these, they were all at angles, maybe less this one. But you have to think of, when you want to draw something in this style, that everything is facing front, right? So taking out any perspective, like if I had drawn this in perspective, I'd shown the sides of this maybe going into Z space. This highlight is literally just the bevel of the corner, because you aren't actually seeing the top face of this when you are drawing this full front in this kind of front perspective. So same with this image. Even though I see all the lines kind of narrow in on in 3-point perspective on this, I'm drawing all the verticals straight up and down, including these arches. Okay, so I started doing the orange sky, but then I forgot there were these corner motifs. It was like an owl with like these sheets of green metal. So I added those, and right now it's just like an exercise in drawing a pattern. There's these little loops that kind of make the trim of this building. I didn't quite bring a auburn color for the base of this building, so what I'm gonna do is I used my terracotta color, and then I'm going to overlay it with this red Copic, see what happens. It looks pretty good. Because the windows are a reflection of the sky, it's usually a darker color versus the sky. And in my original photo, the sky is blue and the windows are a dark blue. So I'm gonna try and make this dark orange. Okay, so we have this shadow reflection here now. I'm now gonna use this Pilot green color, and I'm gonna do kind of like a light etching because I want to keep the lightness of this frame, because I feel like the picture is getting kind of too dark and the white is still giving it structure. So I'm just gonna space out these lines as I color the frame. Okay, so yeah, I decided to put some white out in the sky because it was just getting way too dark. Put in the stripes on the wings here. They're like pretty abstract, so I left it pretty abstract as well. So yeah, pretty happy with this. I'm gonna move on to the next. So I used a Sharpie to outline portions of the picture. I think that helps a little bit.
Yeah, I get those colors.
Okay, this one is a facade I found on the corner of Michigan Avenue. I put Darlene in the window. Let's see, so we're gonna, this is a China marker. You peel the tip to get more marker. It is actually not a marker, but like a waxy type of crayon. So like, I like to call it like a adult crayon. So I'm just using this like I would a gray marker. I'm gonna fade the fade out the brick wall here. So then the front motif can pop out, even if they're actually like the same material and on the same plane. I think this helps for our purpose, our little study, to show what's really important. So something like that. Here I went over a little more. Even though there's really no shadow here, I'm gonna fake that contact shadows to separate the foreground from this brick wall. Now I'm gonna use a Sharpie to outline these lines to really pop that out. Okay, so here we go. Darling in a window. Might help to put some hash lines or highlight with our trusty whiteout. So then there is some kind of indication that it is a window. Okay, there we have it. Okay, so this is what we got. A pillar between the top and bottom of a gate. A piece of decor next to the fountains. A motif on a wall. This is part of a frame for a theater with a face on it. It's mostly just pencil and some ballpoint pen with shadow to we choose the parts that come forward. This is of course our top of the building. And then this one, since it was snowing, I put some snow on top with whiteout. So yeah, this has been fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Have a great night, guys. Bye.